If anybody have any kind of query, just write it in the Q&A. I will try to answer. So I guess there are not any more questions from your side. So good evening again. So today we have with us Akshay Sopri, and he will try to explain the topic file handling in RPGLE. So be attentive during the session and try to grab as much as you can get. And after the session, we will let you raise your hand, and then you can ask the doubt regarding the session. So Akshay, over to you. You can start.
Thanks, Pushpinder. Let me know when my screen is open. My screen is good.
Akshay, you are on mute.
Akshay, you are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Your voice is low.
Just a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
Okay.
And your screen is visible too.
Okay, so the presentation, right?
Yes.
So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this internship program. My name is Akshay, and I'll be taking your today's session on file handling in RPGLE. So before that, I'm like sure that you must have created the physical and logical files till now, and you had some records in it. As before proceeding for this session, this session is all about the physical and logical files and how you can manipulate the data. So make sure you have the data in your physical files. So let us start the agenda for today's session is like we'll go through the introduction of file handling, then the importance, some concepts and terminology. Then we'll see how we can declare the file in the fspec of an RPGLE program. Then some opcodes and built-in functions used for the file handling. And then we'll see some sample programs, how we read a file, how we can write into a file, update records and delete records using the RPGLE language. So as we know that file handling is very crucial in RPGLE. If you don't know, then the file handling is the most important part, because all the databases will be there and we can manipulate the data as our convenience. And before proceeding with the file handling, we should know the important concepts and terminology which are used. And there are different file formats, like the physical and logical files. And there are some more which we'll discuss in the later part of this internship program. Then we should first, before using the files in our program, we should know the importance of file handling. So the very first point is, if we are handling a file in our RPGLE program, it is very important to ensure the data integrity and the consistency, because see, the client's data will be there and it is our responsibility to make sure that we take care of the data. And since IBMI provides us with its own database, so it enables us with a seamless integration with the database and the external files. Okay, so then we'll see the concepts and terminology. So the very first one is the record format. So as everyone must have created the physical and logical files, on the very first line, we declare a record format with the name type as R. So what it does, it includes all the data of that physical file and tells the program that, okay, so this is the records which are that in the physical file. Then we also declare a key field which is used for the retrieval of records. It will be a unique identifier and it will be used to retrieve records. Then the field, everyone must know that field is individual data elements of a file. Like you can consider them as the columns. Then the physical file, which will hold the actual data, which will have the actual storage, and the logical file, which will act as a view on the physical files, and it will not contain any data. It will not have any storage. It just points to the physical file we have declared it with. And the last one is a fully procedural file. So we'll see how we can in the program itself, but for now you can consider it as a file in which the programmer has the ability to control which record to be fetched or which block of records to be fetched. Now let us see how we can declare. In fixed format, this is the way we can declare, and in free format we can declare the file like this. Let me know, Pushpinder, when my green screen is visible.
It is visible.
Okay. So here we have created a physical file. So on the very first line, this is the record format of the file. These are the fields of the file. And let me show you one keyed file. Okay, so this file is keyed. I have created the employee ID as the key. So this is the keyed file. This is how we create the physical files. And now how we can declare it. This is the fspec. So let me F4 on it. When you press type F and press F4, so this will pop up. In the file name, you can enter the file or which you want to declare. Then the file type I. So I means an input file, which can be used for if you want to only read the file. And suppose you want to update any record in the file or delete the record, you instead of I, you can give U for update. Then the third one is the file designation. F means a fully procedural file, like I told you in the previous slide, in which the programmer has the ability to control which records are to be fetched. There are some other types as well, which we'll discuss in the further program. So for now, when you are declaring your file, you can use file designation as F, in which you'll have the authority to fetch from a particular key field. Then the file format, E means external files. Since these files are external files, we have created a physical file and we are declaring it in our program. So they are the external files. And device type, in device type we'll enter disk. Disk, you can consider it as a storage type. So these files have the data. This is how we declare in the fixed format. And if you have a keyed file, then you have in the record address type, you can enter K. So it will consider this file as a keyed file. And suppose if you want to add any records using the RPGLE program, in the file addition, you can enter A. So that will consider the file as we can write all output file. We can add records using this. If you don't enter A, so it will not allow us to write any records. So this is what was all about how to declare in free format, and in how to declare in fixed format. And in free format, it is quite simple. DCLF means declare file. Then we have to enter the file name, then disk, and in usage type, we can enter star input for just read only. And if we want to suppose make the file as like we want to add records and update records in the same file, then we can make it as star input, star output to make it a file where we can add records, star update where we can update the records, and star delete where we can delete the records as well. So this is the syntax. But if you just want to read on the file, then star input is enough. And if you want to read and write, then star input output is enough. This is all about the file declarations. And the next slide is the when you write in the fixed format, there is a factor one value. So for now, you can just take these values as what are the different options we can type in the factor one. The first one is this. The factor one means the search argument, whatever we are searching for. So anything with the key field, like suppose my key field is employee ID. So and that is a numeric key. So I can enter anything that I want to search for, like any numeric value. Star lowell means the lowest value. So it will point out to there is a virtual pointer which is needed to set before reading a file. So if we specify factor one as star lowell, so it will point the pointer to the lowest value of that file. Then similarly, the star highwell means it will point out to the highest value in that file, highest key value in that file. And similarly, star start and star end means the beginning and the ending of the record. So we'll see all these in the program itself, but for now you can just consider the definitions of them. Then we'll have the opcodes for which operation codes we can use for file handling. These are setll, that means the set lower limit. That means the pointer will be set to the first occurrence of the record, in which we have specified in factor one star lowell, and we have given setll with it. So it will set the pointer before the lowest record, and from there it will start reading the record. Similarly, set gt means set greater than, so it will set the pointer to the next record from the search argument. Then we have some opcodes to read the file, which are the very first one is read. So read simply means from wherever the pointer is set, it will read the record. And read E means it will only read the equivalent record or the equal record with the factor one. So whatever we have passed in the factor one, if the matching record is found in the file, then only it will read. Otherwise, it will turn on the end of file indicator and it will come out. Then we have read P, which means read previous or read prior record. So it will wherever the pointer we have set, it will read its previous record. So suppose I have 5 records in my file, and with the setll, I have set the pointer at 4th record. So with the read P operation, it will read the third record. Similarly, read PE means previous equivalent. So it will read the equal records, previous equal record. So whichever records are in our file, it and wherever the pointer is set, from there onwards, it will read the previous matching record. And if there are no matching records, it will come out and turn on the end of file indicator. Now, since there are some confusion occurs in star lowell and starts, so what star lowell means, it means that it will point out to the lowest key value. So suppose I have 5 records and the key value, it is in the sequence 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. So if we put star lowell, so it will point to the lowest key value, that will be 1. That is the fourth record. So it will set the pointer to the fourth record. And if we use star start, irrespective of the key value, it will set the pointer at the beginning of the file. And also star lowell cannot be used with a non-keyed file. To use star lowell, the file must be declared and with a keyed field and should be having a key field. Otherwise, if there is no key field, you can use star start instead. Now let us see some practical examples. So we'll start with setll and read. So let me compile this source first. Okay. So this is the program. On the first line, we have declared the file. This is a non-keyed file. So no need to specify K. Then I have declared 3 variables, name, ID, and salary. And after that, I have done the operation. Let me show you with the, when you, on the C specification, when you press F4, this type of screen will pop up. So in the operation, I have given the setll, that means the set lower limit. In factor 1, I have given star start. And in the factor 2, I have given file name. So what it will do, let me just show you the records of the file. So these are the records in my file. And I have done setll star start. So it will set the pointer before the first record. And from there onwards, it will start reading the record, set lower limit, and from the beginning of the file. So from first, it is set the pointer at this position just before the first record, and it will start reading from there. So let me debug this for you. Okay, so let us set the breakpoint at first line, and I'm calling the program. See, so first is the declaration, and then we have setll and start. So the pointer is now set at the beginning of the first record. Now I have done a read operation, so it will read the record from that file. So if the pointer is set before the first record, so it will start reading from the first record, and then it will eval the employee ID is the file field, so it will eval the file field with the program variable. Let us see the value 1111. So it has read the first record. Similarly, it will verify the populate the name with the employee name of the file, and then it will display. So this was the first program. It has displayed ID as 1111, which was the first record. Now, and this results. Now, this is the how we can do the same operation in free format. We have to declare a file, then some variables we have declared in which we'll store the values. Then in this case, like in factor 1, I have shown you we can enter the key value as well. So here I have entered the key value as ID. So what it is doing, it is taking the ID, which I have initialized with 3333, and it is doing the setll operation. So it will do a setll operation on before 333. 333 is the search argument, and we are doing a setll operation. So it will set the pointer before this record, not to the second record, just between the second and the third record. Okay, and from there onwards, it will start reading the file. So I've then performed a read operation. So it will read the record. Let me call this volume. So it has read the third record and the salary of it. So the pointer was set between the second and the third record. And from there, if we do a read operation, it starts reading. So it will read the next record, that is 3333. Now we'll see set GT, how we can use set GT plus read. So let me first show you the source code. So this is the same code, but here the file is a keyed file, and I have declared a variable which is initialized with 2222. Initialize means the initial value of this variable is set to 2222. And then I am using a set GT operation on the, and the factor one is ID. So what it will do from there, it is a different file. Yeah, it will do a set GT operation on this record because the ID is 2222 and we are using the factor one as ID. So it will set the record after this. It will set the pointer after this record. That means between the second and the third record. So the pointer is set between the second and the third record. And then we are reading the file and then simply evaluating. So if I debug this for you. I have set the breakpoint at the first line. Now I'm calling the program. So this is the file declaration. Now it has set the pointer to the set greater than to the ID. ID was 2222. So the pointer is now between the second and the third record. Now I am doing a read operation and simply evaluating the values. So let us check the value of ID. The value of ID is 3333. Why? Because the pointer was set between the second and the third record, and from there it will start reading. So it will read 3333. And similarly, the salary of it, and it will then display 3333 and the salary, and it will come out. Okay. So this was the free format of set GT and read. Then similarly, what the same thing can be done in the fixed format as well. We can declare the file. Right now, I've declared the file in the input mode only because we are not performing any update or delete operation. So for read only, input is enough. In further examples, we'll see how we can write and update the record. Then I have declared two variables. One is the ID, which I have set the initial value to 3333. And then I'm doing a set GT and the ID and file 2. So the pointer will be set between the third and fourth record now because I have done a set GT with this ID. Now the initial value is 3333. So the pointer will be between the third and the fourth record. And from there onwards, it will read. So it will read the next record. That means the fourth record. And then it will populate the values of the field to the program variables. And here I have simply used a display operation. And here I have concatenated the string. So let me pause this for you. So the string will be the employee ID is this, and the salary of that employee ID is 5,000. This one. So this was the set GT and read operation. Now we'll see the setll and read P operation. So let me show you the source code first. Similarly, the file is declared. It is a non-keyed file. Then few variables are declared. And then what I am doing, I am using the set LL and star high val. So initially I told you the high val will point to the highest key value, right? Or the highest for a non-keyed file to the end of the record. So now for this is file one. Let me show you the records. Right. So I have done a set LL operation on the star high val as factor one. So star high val means this record, and I have done a set LL on this record. So it will point just before this, and after that I have done an operation which is read P. That means read previous. So it will read the previous record. So let me debug this for you. I have set the breakpoint to the first line, and here I am evaluating the program. Right. So done the set LL operation and then read previous. So it has read the previous record because the pointer was set. Show you the file. Set LL. After this record, the pointer was set, and from here onwards, it has read the previous record, which is the 5555. Right. So this way, the ID is populated, and similarly, employee name, that is the file field, and I have populated the value in the name variable. So the name variable is this, and then simply I am displaying the name and the ID. Same thing can be done in the free format itself. In free format, we don't have like certified positions where we have to give the factor one and factor two. We can give the as many spaces in between as we want. There is no limitation of the positions. So the same operation I have done, set LL and high val on file 02, and after that I'm reading the previous record and just populating the variables with the employee with the file fields and then displaying. So let me follow this. So same, the employee ID is this and the salary is this. This was some other file. So the employee set LL set GT high val. So the pointer is set at somewhere this position. And from here we are doing a read P. And suppose from here we do a read operation. So it will display nothing because after this the end of file has reached. So it will display, if we use the display operation, it will display blanks. So we have to take care of when to use read P and when to use read key and how we can use the factor and values. So as much as we practice, we'll get to know the differences and where we can use these. Now let us go to the next example. That is the set GT and read P in fixed format. Okay, what is this? Okay, we have now here what I have done, I have initialized the values, and instead of using any high val low val, I have given ID as a search argument in file 02. Okay, so the ID is initialized with 2222 and I have used set GT. So initialized with 2222 and I have used set GT. So the pointer will be set somewhere between the second and the third record. Right. And from there, I am doing a read P. So if I would have done a read operation, so it would have read the third record because the pointer is set between the second and the third record. And a read operation will simply read the next record. So the third record will be read. But here, what I have done, I have used read P. So let me call it has read the second record. That means the pointer was set between the second and the third record, and it has read the previous record, which is the employee ID 2222 and the salary as 3000.50. Okay. And similarly, this is the free format syntax. So this time I'll display like debug the free format for you. The logic is same. The way to debug is same. It's just the convenience how you write the code. Strdebug is the command to debug. Then F4, enter the program name, library name, and these two factors we have to do a star yes on. That means the update production files. That means if any file is getting updated, so it will update the production files. And OPM source level debug means that OPM means original program model. So we are telling the compiler or the debugger that we want to debug this program with the original program models. So after I have done, let me set the breakpoint and I'll call the test region 8. Okay, so similarly, the first one is the declaration. This is the key file, so we have to specify the key. And after that, we have declared two variables. One is the ID, which I have given the initial value as 3333. And another is the salary, in which I'll store the salary. So I have done a set GT operation, star highwell and file02. So set GT and star highwell is this. And then we have done a read p. So star highwell will point to the last record after the last record. And from here we have done set GT and read p. So read p will read the previous record. The last record has been read because set GT highwell will point to this record. And when we are using set GT, so it will point the pointer to the greater than this value. So somewhere after this record. And from here we are doing a read p. So the previous record is this one. So it has read this. And if we have done a read operation, so it will have simply displayed blanks and the end of file indicator will have turned on. We'll come to know about the end of file indicator in the coming programs. So bear with me. So then I'm just displaying. This is the way we can concatenate the strings. We can use quotes, and then if we want to add any variable, we can use plus. And since the ID was a numeric field, so I have first converted into a character field. And then similarly, the salary was a numeric field, so I had to convert it to a character field, and then it will get concatenated. Otherwise, we cannot concatenate a numeric field with the character field. So it will get displayed, come out of this program, and it's debug. Okay, so till now we have completed the set LL, set GT, read P, read E, read P and read operations, and with the key value if again apart from star highwell and lowell. Now we'll move to the read E operation. So the same thing, the declarations are same. We can declare the file. This is the only way the files can be declared. And here what I am doing, I am using setll operation on ID field, and ID is initialized with 2222. So that means the pointer is set somewhere between the first and the second record because we are using setll on the ID field as search argument. And from there, I am using the read E operation. So read E, what will read E do? It will find only any matching records. So let me show you the data of the file. So the pointer is set somewhere between first and the second record, and it will find any if there is any other matching record from this or not. So let me call this program. So file is not compiled, I think. Let me call the free format one. File 03, and we are using settle and video operation, and we are now this is something different. in the previous programs, what we were doing, we were only reading the one record at a time. Now, suppose we want to read multiple records or we want to read till the end of the file, we can do that in a do loop, right? So let me show you debug only. So I'm using setll ID. ID is initialized with 4 times 2, and I have set it the lower limit to that. That means it is pointing to somewhere between the first and the second record. Then what I am doing, I am doing a do while loop. Now this is the end of file indicator. Let me give you a brief about that. These are the built-in functions. Anything that is started with the %sign, that is the built-in function in RPGLE. You can consider them as the methods like in any other programming languages, and it will return some value. So this is the %end of file. So what it does, it will, if the end of the file has been reached, it will turn on this indicator and return 1. And otherwise it will return 0. So this is to determine whether we have reached the end of file or not. So what we are doing is do while not end of file. That means it will continue the loop until the end of file has been reached. If we did not specify this not, it would have like read till not end of file. But if we have done like used not end of file, that means till this condition is true, it will continue the loop. And once this condition becomes false, it will come out. So let us go further. So in the first loop, we have done a read E operation, so it will only find the matching values. So the ID is populated with 2222 and the name is populated with Larry. So the pointer was set somewhere between the first and the second record. And from there, it had started reading the any matching record, that means any equivalent records. So first match was the second record. So it had read the second record and then it will display. And then again, we have done a read operation. So again, it has read the next matching record and it will come into the loop because the end of file is still not reached. Now the name is populated with Gary. So the next matching record, that is this record, it has read this. It had skipped this record because we had performed a read E operation. So it will only find the matching records. So this record has been fetched, it will display. Then again, we have done a read E operation. But the end of file has been reached because after this, there are no matching records. So it has come directly to the end do. And *INL means the program is ended here. So this is how we can use a loop to iterate through the file and records of the file. Now there was one more operation code, which was the read PE. Now read E was to read the equivalent records, right? And similarly, read PE means read previous equivalent records. So let me compile this one as well from the source. The demo for me. So I have not ended that debug. So after every debug, we have to first end that debug and then we can start another debug. So test PGM 11. Okay. Let me check the breakpoint at first line. All the right. So this is the file declaration. Then two variables. Now I have set use the ID as factor 1. That means the search argument is the ID, that's value is 3333. And after that, I'm performing it with the set GT operation. So somewhere between three and the third and the fourth record, the pointer will be set. And after that, I'm performing read previous equivalent. So it will read the previous matching record. So for now, the previous matching record is the third record. So it will display the third record. So let us see. Read B, and then I am displaying. So let us see the value of EMP. Okay, so I have to call this to give you the exact value. Let me first enter DBG. So here, previous equivalent record name as Mary. So the pointer was set between the third and the fourth record, and the previous matching record was the third record. So it has displayed the name of the third record. Then there was one more operation. Let me show you in the of course. The chain operation. So it is similar to a setll plus read. So instead of using two lines, one with the setll and the other with read, we can directly use the chain operations. But there are some differences. I'll tell you about that later. First, we'll see the example. So for chain operation, this is the syntax. And here I have used one built-in function as well, which is the %found. So let me give you a brief about this. %found is and it will give the value as 1 if it found any matching record. That means if we have read a file and then if we use %found, it will turn on when we have found any relevant match, and it will give the value as 0, or we can say it is turned off when there is no relevant match. So we can use these indicators to retrieve the records correctly. So let's see the syntax. What I have done, I have declared a file 02 as an input mode. Then I have declared a variable, and I have given now, instead of initializing the value of this field, I have given the value of this field as 3733. And also here I have, instead of giving the data type and the length, I have used a keyword like employee ID. So EMP ID is the file field, and what I am telling the program that this I am declaring a ID field, and its parameters are like the employee ID of the file. So the data type and the position length, it will fetch from this field, and it will be same as this field. So this way we can declare our field as well. So now on the fourth line, I am initializing and giving the value as 3733 in this ID field. So now then I am chaining doing a setll read. The chain is just a setll read, and I am doing a chain operation on this ID field. That means 3733. And if the record is found in the file, it will display the salary of it, and otherwise it will display not found. Because you have gone through this if else statements and the do loop. So let me debug this for you. For debugging, we have to specify the debugging view as star source. Only then we'll be able to see the source in the debug mode. Compiled it with star source. The next step will be start the debug process. Specify the program and the library. Start yes. So now we have set the breakpoint at first line. We can set the breakpoint wherever we can. It's not necessary we should specify it at the first position. Just suppose I have given the breakpoint at the 7th position. So it will skip all these things. It will execute these things, but it will not show us in the debug. It will start the debug from the 7th position itself. So I'm debugging, setting the breakpoint at the first position to give you a brief about how the program flow is going. Now, calling program. all test ATM map. The first is the declaration, then the ID. Now I have given the value of ID as 3733. So if we can do F11 on this variable, we can see the value of ID is 3733. Now I am chaining this record. That means I am using the ID as factor 1 and the chain operation set LL operation. That means so it will set the pointer to somewhere before that record. But I have given a condition here, as you can see. So if this record is found, only then it will display the employee salary. And if not found, it will go in the else condition. So it directly go to the else condition because this is not found in the file. As we can see, there is no record with 3733 in the file. So it has not displayed it. Right? And then it will display not found. And it will end the program. So I'll again call this one. For going to the previous typed command, you can press F9. Like if I press F9, it will take me to the automatically populate the previous command. If I press F9 again, it will go to the previous command. So let me call this. So as the record is not found, it is displaying not found. So one difference between the chain and the set LL operation is that if we are using the chain operation, so it will set that record. It will set a record log to that record. That means we cannot do any action on this record. If suppose we are in another program, we try to update that. So until that program has ended or until the chain operation is completed, that record has been logged. So that record, we cannot perform any read and like write and update operation on that record or delete that record. This is one difference between the settle and read E and chain. And one more difference is there. Chain is mostly used when we know that there is one match only. So we need to fetch that matching record. So we can do a chain operation. But suppose there are multiple matching records, like in this case, if we are doing a read E settle on 2222, and we can see there are multiple IDs with 2222. So it's better that we use the settle operation, settle and read E. These are the differences. Then I think I have covered these things. Now the other things are how we can like perform other operations. This was all about reading a file. Now let us see how we can write a record in this file. So this is the program. Here I have declared the file. You can see as star output. So star update is not necessary in this case because we are adding a record. But if we had to update the record, we had to give the star update as well. So DCLF, the file name, disk means the storage type, usage is star input, star update, star output, and it is a keyed file. Then I have declared a variable whose data type and length is similar to the employee ID field of this file. And similarly, I have given a variable name whose initial value I have set to Akshay. Now let us see what happens in debug. Let me show you the records in the file. Right, there are two records, Harry and Larry. Right, and let me compile some source. And now I'll start the debug. Breakpoint at first line. Following the program. Okay. So if we see the value of name, it will be Akshay because we have initialized it with Akshay. And if we see the value of ID, and to see the value of any variable, we can click on that variable and then press F11. So F11, the value is 4444 because on line number 5. I have given the value as 4444. So then I am performing a chain operation. So if the pointer is set to this set LLN 44 just before 444 record, but there is no 4444, right? So what I am doing after that, if not found, if not person found, that means if this record is not available, what I am doing, these are the file fields. So I am populating the value of ID and name in this file. So it will go inside this condition. It is populating the values. And after that, I have used the opcode write. This is also operation code. When we want to add any records, write is the operation code we need to use. And after that, I have used, this is the record format of that file. Here in these cases, we should know the record format is needed because it will tell the programmer that these are the records which it is pointing to. And now I have performed a write operation. So let's see what is the, now it has added one record with 444 ID and the name is Akshay. Now there is a record action. So if we again, let me come out of this first. This way we can add the record. And you must have seen I have given a condition, if not found, only then write. But if we again call this program, this condition will not be satisfied because now it is found. The ID with 4444, the programmer will find this ID and then it will directly go to this else condition and it will display already available. So if I call this now, it is displaying already available, right? So in this way, we can use the %found indicator to check whether the existence of this record is available or not. Now the other part is the updating part. Now we can update. So this is the source code. Here I have declared the file as input and update because we want to update the record. It is a keyed file. Similarly, the declarations are same. Now what I am doing, let me show you the data. Okay, so these are the 3 records and what I am doing, I am chaining this, and if this ID is found in the file, so then only it will perform the update operation. It will set the employee name as the Akshay of the employee ID 3333, and update is the opcode which we have to use while updating a file. We have to write update and then we have to give the record format. Just remember, we have, while performing the write, update and delete operations, we have to specify the record format and not the file name. So in this case, since 3333 is not available, so it will directly go to this else condition and it will display not found. So let me call this. Yeah, I have to compile it. It is displayed not found, right? But suppose there is 2222 is available. So if I make this ID as 2222 and then I'll compile it again 14 and this, and now I'll call it and I see the data. So it has updated the ID 222 with name Akshay. So this is the update part. Then the next one is how we can delete a record. Same way I have declared the file as a start. I have given start delete because we want to perform a delete operation. Then I have declared a variable whose data type is same as the employee ID field. Then I have given the value of ID as 4444 and I am chaining that record. So if 444 is found, then it will delete the record. So delete, after the delete, we can write the record format name. So, and it will only execute if the record is found. So let us first make anything which is not available. So if I use 4244, suppose, so we know this record is not available in the file. And if I call this, so it will display not found because that chain operation is not successful. Which way it had directly gone to this condition because this if condition is not satisfied. So if I now make it as 4444, again compile this program. I have successfully called it. Now, right now there is 3 records, and if I again try to display that file, now the record with ID 444 has been deleted. So in read, write, and update operations, we need to specify the record format. Then this is the last program which I had created for your knowledge. So let me show you the file records. So these 5 records are there in the file, and what I am doing here is, let me show that in debug mode. Now I am given here no debug. I have star no debug. Right, I'll tell you what it is. Just give me a minute. I'll call this program first. strpg f4, specify the program name, the library name, yes, stars, breakpoint 1. Now I'm calling it. So start 16 HTML. Okay. So when I specified the no debug IO, you have seen that in every program I did not specify that. So it was after performing any read and write operation, it was the breakpoint. The cursor was going to the declaration. So when I have specified no debug IO, so it will not show us again and again go to this file declaration. So in this program, what I am doing is I am reading this file from top to bottom. So on every retrieval, it will, if I did not specify the no debug IO, it on every retrieval, it will go to this line. But now I have specified it, so it will not go. So what I am doing is I am setting the setll at the start position. So that means the beginning of the record, and just before that, because it is a setll operation. So before the first record, the pointer is set, and from there I am doing until the end of file is reached, until the end of file. So it has read the first record. It will display the employee ID and name. Then it will again, since the end of file has not been reached, it will continue in the loop itself. The second record has been displayed. Now this is the third time. The third record has been displayed. Now 5 records has been displayed. So now the end of file has reached. So it did not go again in this loop. It came directly to the end loop. And after this, I have given a condition if end of file. That means if this condition is true. Right now, this condition is true. So it will go into this, and then it will display end of file reached. So I'll show you in the interactive itself. First I'll end this, and then I'm calling this. So this is the first record, employee ID 1111. Its salary, which is this. Then the second record, its salary. The third record, its salary. Its fourth record, the salary. The fifth record, and the salary. And now the end of file has been reached because there are no more records. So it has displayed end of file reached. So that was all about this, how we can handle this, any file, database file in our programs. So one assignment or exercise I have to give you, like in this program, what I have done is I have read the file from top to bottom. So what you can practice is you can read any your data, any file, physical or logical, it may be. You have to read it from the last record till the first record. It is quite simple if you have watched this session carefully, so that won't be a big deal for you, and it will be a good boost for you if you do it. it is good for your practice purpose. So that was all from my side. If there are any questions, you can raise your hands and we'll try to address as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay, for your wonderful session. So, yeah, if you have any question, you can just raise hand and we will unmute you so you can ask the questions.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good evening.
Instead of using ID as a search argument, can we use their employee name as a search argument?
Yes, you can use in the program. You have seen that the key ID was the key in the file. That's why we have used that for in the chain operation, because whenever you use chain, it must be used with a key field. So if you have defined key field as name, then you can use the chain operation on name as well.
Okay. And again, one more question. Star, start, and key. These keywords same or there is difference between them?
Uh, so if there is no key defined in your file, then in that case we use start. So what it will do, it will just start the fetching of record from the first record itself. And if there is key defined, then we use star lowell or star star lowell, star highwell. So what it will do, it will point out the point, it will set the pointer at the position according to the keyword that you used, like star highwell or star lowell. If it is lowell, then it will just set the pointer to the lowest keyed value.
Okay. So what is the use of that key? Means it is compulsory to use that one.
So suppose when your file is declared has a key field, then in declaration you have to specify the key field. So it will tell the program that it is a keyed file. And for
Okay,
the
you are
star
not
level,
audible.
am I not audible?
Hello.
Your voice
Am
is
I
too
audible
low.
now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying, if the file is have a key field, so then in the declaration you have to specify key.
Akshay, again, you are not audible. Your voice is too low.
Am I audible now?
Not yet. Your voice is low.
Let me.
Okay, you just repeat your question. We can try to answer it.
Yeah. So my question is, why we use a key? So it is necessary to use or?
Actually,
Okay.
suppose you have data of data of a higher length, like you have thousand of record,
Okay.
and if you have not defined any type of key, then suppose there are in thousand record there are hundred of swatis in
Yeah.
the name of a user. So how can you identify which swati you are searching for it? Like in telephone directory, you have seen it has something of a unique value like address or maybe telephone number, so which distinguish multiple person from the name. Because if we are searching through just without any key field, so we are not able to uniquely identify any value. So for that purpose we use key in any physical file or database.
Means it works as a unique identifier, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Those who have raised their hands, they can unmute themselves and ask their questions. I can see few hands has been raised, but they are not asking the questions. So if you don't want to ask, you can lower your hand, please.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tarun.
Good evening, sir. Actually, sir, my question is about for the how to create a PF, the physical file. Actually, I select a command WRK obj work object, and there I find my library, which is my user ID. But I cannot open it, and it's not working, sir, properly. So I didn't understand how can I means create the physical file.
Actually, in previous sessions, we have already mentioned that. So first of all, you have to create a library which is already, uh, you know, defined in the 400, which is like username and after that suffix 1 or 2. And in that library, you have to create a source physical file. So there are multiple source physical file like QRPGLE, SRC, QDDS, SRC, and each are for a different purpose. Like QDDS SRC used for storing uh, physical file and all the files like physical file and display file. So first you have to create that, and after you have created the source physical file, you can do work member PDM and define the source physical file and the library. After that, you will be redirect to the member list, and where you can create the physical file by using F6 or strsu command.
Okay, sir. I will again watch the last session. It promise. Thank you.
No, Also, there is an announcement for everyone. So we have sent emails to all the candidates regarding the sessions and drive and assignment that is provided. So just go through that email and you will know about the procedure for, next procedure for this internship.
Hello,
Yes, Ankit, you are audible.
sir. My physical files are in QDDS. So as source physical file. If I create, I if I write code in QRPGL source physical file, it will execute those physical files.
Yeah, if they are in the same library, that the program will already identify the physical file in the program, even though they are in different source physical file. But the source physical file must be in the same library.
Okay, thank you.
Asutosh, if you have any doubt, then you can unmute yourself and ask. If you do not have any question, then you can down your hand.
Hello. Hi,
Sir,
Venkat.
I haven't get any mail, sir.
Venkat, you are not audible. Can you repeat the question?
Sir, I haven't get any mail, sir.
Okay, so just check your registered email, and we have sent the email. And if not, then just regularly check the email. We will send the mails to the rest of the candidate also.
I haven't get any mail, sir, till now.
Okay, you will get the mail. Also check the spam folder if you haven't got the email in your inbox.
Sir, I checked the spam category, but I haven't get any mail, sir.
Okay. So you will get the email within few days.
Okay, sir.
If you have any kind of question, just raise your hand, and if not, then we will wind up the call at 7:30.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Sir, if it's possible, can you resend the mail?
Okay, our team will resend the emails to those who haven't got the email yet.
Just a time.
Okay, no issue. If you have questions, just raise your hand and we will give the permission to unmute you, and then you can ask the questions. And those who have not received any email, we will be resending the emails to you. And make sure the email will be sent to the person who have registered with us through the Google Forms. So only you will get the email on that email also only. Okay, so I think there are no more questions. So thank you everyone, and a very good evening. We will wind up the call.